I start my new job tomorrow in a high school science classroom.
I work for Clark Construction, and I will be a project engineer. I got promoted.
So I'm currently a follow-up analyst for Stellantis. We monitor parts from all over the world. We build vehicles as well.
I am going to be starting at Dynatrace right here in Ford Field.
After graduation, I've got a job working in the ICU at St. John Hospital.
I recently just got a job at Little Caesars Corporate right next door doing account management.
I was offered a full-time position at Magna Electronics where I was interning. I'm going to be a software engineer.
What's next for me? I'm currently working at an advertising agency, and I plan to continue working there and pursuing my PhD.
And now I have a job at GM where I'll be an engineer in their track program.
I'm graduating with a PhD in communication, and my next step is taking a research position at a nonprofit in DC.
I got an offer at GM in the rotational program.
My next stop is starting a new job, San John. I just got offered a cardiac unit, and I'm excited.
I will be starting full-time in public accounting at Plant Moran and their international tax team.
And I plan on going to commercial banking, working for JP Morgan and Chase.
I'm graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, and I'm starting a position at Beaumont Royal Oak in the Neurotrauma Surgical ICU.
Honored guests, please welcome Wayne State's class of 2022. Honored guests, families, and friends, please join together in welcoming Wayne State University's Dean of Students, David Strauss.
Good morning. Please be seated. It is so fantastic to see all of you here today. What a wonderful day. It is so exciting. On behalf of the Dean of Students Office, the Student Senate, and all of the student organizations, let me be the first to welcome and congratulate all of you gathered here today for this momentous occasion, the confirmation and celebration of Wayne State University's College of Education, College of Fine Performing and Communication Arts, School of Information Sciences, and School of Medicine class of 2022. And we're going to give College of Education another chance. College of Education. To formally start the ceremony, I would like to ask that everyone please stand as we call the ceremony to order with the traditional opening march. It is my pleasure to present to you the members of the Wayne State University Board of Governors, the president, deans, members of the university administration, and honored guests. And we welcome members of your faculty as they come down the aisle. Everyone, please be seated. Again, thank you all for that. Welcome to today's ceremony. I would like to draw your attention to the academic mace of Wayne State University. The mace is here in the center of the stage. This mace is a ceremonial scepter that symbolizes the highest ideals of humankind: harmony, truth, justice, and learning. By tradition, the mace is presented at commencement in a position of prominence to all those gathered to represent and celebrate this auspicious occasion. I would now like to ask everyone to please rise for the national anthem.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night o'er the ramparts we rode, were so gallant we streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, they moved through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say was that star-spangled banner wave o'er the land of free and the home of brave.
Please be seated. It is now my pleasure to introduce our Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Mark Lawrence Kornblue. Provost Kornblue.
Thank you, David. Good afternoon and welcome to Wayne State University. Today's commencement ceremony is very special in that it marks the return of Wayne State's graduation events to our beautiful campus, and we're thrilled to be back in the home of our own Warrior basketball teams. It is my honor to start this ceremony by introducing you to the 2022 Winter, Spring, and Summer graduating class from the College of Education, the College of Fine, Performing, and Communication Arts, the School of Information Sciences, and the School of Medicine. Our graduates. This is a very special day to graduate on Mother's Day. So graduates, would you please stand and help me acknowledge and thank our special group of guests here today and wish a happy Mother's Day to all our Warrior moms. Thank you, graduates. Please be seated. I would also like to welcome the university's academic and administrative leadership gathered here to lend their congratulations to you, the class of 2022. I ask the deans and senior administrators seated on the stage to stand and be recognized. As one of the nation's largest research public universities, Wayne State University has anchored the city of Detroit as an engaged and motivated community of scholars since 1868. Wayne State is also home to Michigan's most diverse student body, with over 27,000 students from across the globe earning their undergraduate and postgraduate degrees. Wayne State continues to be a top-ranked research university, which is strengthened by the culture, industry, and diversity of our urban environment. Graduates, you've grown immensely during your time here at Wayne State. Your knowledge of your chosen field has increased and carried you here today. You've developed and honed your skills and are ready to go into the world. But let us all remember that this moment is not yours alone. Without the help and sacrifices of your loved ones, your journey here would not have been possible. Graduates, please stand again and give a big thank you to all your family and friends gathered here today. It is now my pleasure to introduce you to the chair of the university's Board of Governors, the Honorable Mark Gaffney, who will bring greetings on behalf of the board. Governor Gaffney.
Thank you, Provost Kornblue. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this exciting and special day. This weekend marks the return of commencement ceremonies to the Wayne State campus, and the first held in our own field house, and it's so great to be back live and together. On behalf of all of the members of the Board of Governors, let me say it's great to be here with you. It's our distinct pleasure to welcome the graduates of the class of 2022 and to extend to you our deepest and most heartfelt congratulations. I would also like to take a moment to add a special welcome to the mothers in our audience. Thank you for spending Mother's Day with us. We're so fortunate to have you as we celebrate the achievements of your sons and daughters and recognize what is certainly your significant contribution to their success. Today's celebration in our arena is a welcome tribute and acknowledgement of what commencement will mean to each of you. This is a place that instills hope for big dreams and wonder for the future. We recognize that you have worked hard to achieve these dreams, and you should be very proud of your accomplishments. Your dedication and commitment have brought you to this moment and have set the path for your future success. With me today is Governor Michael Basuito, another member of the Board of Governors who have joined us. Michael? On behalf of the full Board of Governors and from our entire Wayne State community, congratulations to each and every one of you and best wishes for your endeavors ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor Gaffney. Graduates, your journey here today could not have been undertaken without the help, guidance, instruction, and mentoring from our esteemed faculty. I would like to introduce you to Dr. Jane Gibbons, a member of the Academic Senate and a senior lecturer in the Department of Communications, College of Fine, Performing, and Communication Arts, who will bring greetings on behalf of the faculty. Dr. Fitzgibbon.
Thank you, Provost Kornblue. Well, you made it. So on behalf of Wayne State faculty, I would like to offer each of you my warmest and heartfelt congratulations. Sorry. This is a day of joy for all here, students, parents, and faculty. And of course, those of you who think that academics are over, I can say that certainly from myself that somewhere down the future, there may be another degree in your life. Rest assured, we will welcome you back with open arms. I hope that all of you can think fondly back on the time that you've spent here and the journey that it took. And I hope that you realize that the role of Wayne State faculty has had in getting you here. It's an important milestone in your life. As a comprehensive research university, we not only convey knowledge, but generate it. And I know some of you have done that in the time that you've been here. But the faculty conduct path-breaking research in their fields, establishing national and international reputations. I will ask all those of the faculty present to stand and be recognized. Thank you. They have acted as your teachers, advisors, and mentors, and you've had the opportunity to work and learn from top flight scholars for whom teaching is a passion. There are faculty devoted to helping you navigate what promises to be a very complicated future. Although it is likely the knowledge that you gained here will enable you to do a good job and earn a better income, this is a byproduct of your time here. In addition to providing our students with knowledge, education must also enable our students to think critically, to distinguish sound ideas from half-baked notions, news from propaganda, and genuinely arguable propositions from sheer demagoguery. Education must empower students to grapple with the diverse questions that beset our society, with an insistence on justice for all, and in the spirit of mutual respect and inclusion. I hope you will agree with me that our faculty has not only provided you with practical knowledge, but also taught you how to think analytically and to evaluate critically the world around you. Rest assured that you have learned here at Wayne State has prepared you to continue your education out in the wider world. I hope that we as faculty members have taught you that learning is a lifelong pursuit. Life is going to demand that you do, that many of you do a great many difficult things. And I'm confident that your preparation here will serve you well. Let me close by telling you that the faculty administration are extremely proud of you. And we look forward to hearing from you as you move forward, what you accomplish, what you will become, what sort of vicarious pleasure will be a source of vicarious pleasure for all of us. You have graduated from a very special university, one that defines excellence in terms of who we include, not who we exclude. A university that respects its students enough to demand much of them, but also show its students understanding and friendship. Today we share your pride and your hope for the future. Congratulations to you all on your wonderful successes today.
Thank you, Dr. Fitzgibbon. It's now with distinct pleasure that I introduce Wayne State's 12th president, Dr. M. Roy Wilson.
Thank you, Provost. Graduates, colleagues, special guests, family, and friends, after 2 years of being apart, we're at long last gathered again in person to celebrate the most special moment in a university student's career, commencement. It is indeed a joyous day. I'm so proud of you, of all that you've overcome in pursuit of your academic goals, in pursuit of excellence. But I'm not the only one proud here today. This arena is brimming with parents, siblings, grandparents, faculty, and mentors who cheered you on and supported you in your journey to arrive at this point. And so as others have already mentioned, today is their celebration too. And to all the mothers in the attendance, happy Mother's Day. This year is different because you are different. Our graduates, our warriors, in spite of all the world threw at you, including a global pandemic that shut down much of the world, you kept fighting and earned your degrees. Some people call that grit. On this campus, we call it Warrior Strong. And that grit, that spirit of determination to persevere at all costs, has prepared you for life in a way you will someday appreciate, if not today. When I began to think about my words for today, the first thing that came to my mind was a quote I've long admired from the 26th President of the United States, Teddy Roosevelt. 112 years ago, in the spring of 1910, he said these words to an audience gathered at the Sorbonne in Paris, France. Although he used the masculine noun and pronoun, his message is equally applicable to men and women. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Teddy Roosevelt knew the arena. He dared greatly. He fought literally and figuratively throughout his life and won far more than he lost. He would never be counted among the cold and timid souls. His words made me think of all of you, of the class of 2022. You are the warriors in the arena who accepted the high standards that Wayne State demanded of you as students and surpassed them, who not only weathered the pandemic, but conquered it in spite of it, who cared for those in your communities and lent a helping hand, who reckoned with the injustices still suffered by too many in our country and fought for better. You practiced patience, sacrifice, resolve, hard work, compassion for others, action in the face of injustice. The credit belongs to you, the warriors in the arena. I have great hopes for the graduates in this room. You have the character, the determination, and the intellect to realize your dreams, and in doing so, make the world a better place. You might be anxious about the future, but I'm here to tell you that you are ready for it. So no matter where your next chapter leads you, to the warriors in the arena, I congratulate you all and wish you the very best of life. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson. Dr. Wilson, a distinguished citizen, has been recommended by the faculties of the university for an honorary degree.
Thank you, Provost Kornblum. I would like to ask the Chair of the Board of Governors, the Honorable Mark Gaffney, to please join me at the lectern for the conferral of the honorary degree. Will Governor Busuttil please escort Timothy Meadows to the lectern? Wayne State University awards a Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa to you, Timothy Meadows, in recognition of your exceptional accomplishments as an actor and comedian spanning nearly 4 decades. Born in Highland Park, Michigan, and raised in Detroit, you studied television and radio broadcasting at Wayne State University before performing improvisational comedy at the Soup Kitchen Saloon. In 1985, you relocated to Chicago, where you first joined Improv Olympic and then the legendary comedy troupe, The Second City. During your 3 years at The Second City, you gained a loyal following with your sharp comedic talent. In 1991, producer Lorne Michaels invited you to join the widely celebrated cast of Saturday Night Live as a featured player. Nominated for Emmy as part of the show's writing team that same month, you made the transition to cast member status 2 years afterward and became one of the longest-running cast members in the history of the show. You crafted some of the series' most memorable characters during your 10 years on the show, such as Leon Phelps in The Ladies' Man and Lionel Osborne, host of the fictional public affairs show Perspectives. Several years after appearing in a string of films based on Saturday Night Live, including Coneheads and Wayne's World 2, you added numerous live action and animated film credits to your repertoire, as well as many television show appearances. Following SNL, you appeared as a regular cast member on the Michael Richards show, Leap of Faith, both on NBC. Your film roles have entertained audiences wide and near, including the hit comedy Mean Girls. You also frequently appear on the hit ABC comedy The Goldbergs. In appreciation of your rich achievements in the art of acting and recognition of your talent for moving audiences to laughter and reflection, and to honor your contributions to the fields of comedy, entertainment, and the performing arts, Wayne State University proudly bestows on you, Timothy Meadows, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Governor Gaffney, as president of Wayne State University, and on behalf of the faculty, I am pleased to present Timothy Meadows for the conferral of the degree.
Thank you, President Wilson. Before I say the legal sounding words, you made us laugh and you made us happy. That's a very big thing in this world sometimes. Cultural icon comes to mind. By the authority of the people of the state of Michigan, as vested in the Wayne State University Board of Governors, we are proud to confer upon you, Timothy Meadows, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, and with the hood and diploma, admit you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree. Congratulations. Now, Michael. This is for you. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Hi, everybody. I just want you all to remember, all of you graduates, Stevie Wonder was not here tonight. He's nowhere near the building, so forget about it. He's not coming. I want to thank you all for bestowing this upon me. I was thinking, what could I say? I'm going to keep it short. I thought I should give you some advice to the graduates here, and also thanks to my family. I don't want to get choked up because that'll make it go longer. But I want to thank my family. If it's one thing you have, one thing I've had in my whole life is the support of my brothers and sisters, my mother and father. We have a rule in our family. It's called unconditional love. And that's what we have for each other. I also want to thank Canada, the great country of Canada. And then the advice that I would give you, graduates, is when you get out there in the workforce, find the person that you work with that works the hardest and is the most talented person that you work with, and then outwork them. That's all you got to do. Good luck, and thank you all so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Meadows. Mr. President, a distinguished citizen has been nominated for an honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters.
Thank you, Provost Kornblue. I would like to once again ask the Chair of the Board of Governors, the Honorable Mark Gaffney, to join me at the lectern for the conferral of the honorary degree. Will Governor Busuttil please escort Mr. Prady to the lectern? Wayne State University awards the Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, to you, William Scott Prady, for your distinguished career as a television writer and producer, humanitarian, and educator. Born in Detroit, you graduated from Cranbrook Schools in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, and attended Wayne State University. Through your writing and production of a diverse set of television and film work, you have risen to the top of your profession. Today, you are among the most successful and innovative television writers and producers of your generation. You successfully capture the narrative of contemporary culture through compelling, quirky characters and engaging plots. Your use of humor and creativity to represent diverse people in complex situations struggling with the everyday issues of life while posing questions about the nature of the universe is entertaining, educational, and uplifting. You began working in entertainment at Jim Henson Productions, where you served in numerous creative and production roles with Jim Henson. Eventually writing for Fragile Rock in the Jim Henson Hour. You were nominated for an Emmy Award for co-writing the posthumous tribute, The Muppets Celebrate Jim Henson. Following your work with Henson, you became known for work on popular television classics such as Married with Children, Dream On, Star Trek, Voyager, Dharma and Greg, and Gilmore Girls. You co-created The Big Bang Theory, which premiered on CBS in September 2007 and broadcast 279 episodes over 12 seasons. The Big Bang Theory was nominated for the Emmy Award for Outstanding Comedy Series from 2011 to 2014 and won the Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy Series 4 times in total. It won 7 Emmy Awards from 46 nominations. You have used your claim to support a number of educational and philanthropic causes, including Hollywood's Advocacy Award, the Anti-Defamation League, the ACLU, and the Big Bang Theory Scholarship Endowment at UCLA. You are a trustee of the Humanitas Prize, serve on the board of the Creative Coalition, and serve as the governor of the Hebrew Union College. You were awarded NASA's Exceptional Public Achievement Medal, one of its highest civilian honors for your promotion of science through the Big Bang Theory. In recognition of your extraordinary achievements as a writer and producer, and to honor your commitment to improving the lives of others, Wayne State University proudly bestows on you, William Scott Brady, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
Another cultural icon. You educated and entertained our children. Fraggle Rock will never be the same to me after meeting you. And it struck me as Dr. Wilson was reading this is the generation that you helped raise. Thank you, President Wilson. By the authority of the people of the state of Michigan, as vested in the Wayne State University Board of Governors, we are proud to confer upon you, William Scott Brady, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, and with this hood and diploma, admit you to all of the rights, privileges, and responsibility of that degree. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
This is for you.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
I am not as clever an improviser as Mr. Meadows, so I wrote this down. He's from Second City. They make stuff up. Thank you so much, President Wilson. Thank you to Dean Seeger, to the faculty and the Board of Governors and everyone else responsible for this singular honor. Graduating college, or technically being graduated, it's a transitive verb, look it up, is an amazing, the English department laughing, is an amazing accomplishment. Dean Seeger let me know that there are a number of you who are the first in your family to achieve this milestone. It may interest you to know that I am the second in my family to drop out of Wayne State University. My father, who we lost recently, paved the way for me to not achieve what you have achieved today. As President Wilson mentioned, my first real writing job was for Jim Henson in The Muppets. I was 24 years old. I started in the licensing and product group, and with a combination of persistence and naivete, somehow convinced Jim Henson to let me graduate from writing box copy for stuffed Kermits to writing for the real Kermit. One day I called my mother, and I was busting with pride for my accomplishments. I described the thrill of watching characters I'd grown up with performing words I wrote. My mother listened very quietly, and then she said, "Billy, that all sounds very impressive. You know, some colleges will give you credit for life experience. Maybe you can use all of this to get your degree." Well, Mom, I'm pleased to tell you that it did 37 years later. Happy Mother's Day. I'm a storyteller by trade. If you're still picking a career, I recommend it. It's honest work, it's indoors, and there's no heavy lifting. But more importantly, you have a story to tell. Now more than ever, our society needs to hear your story, your experience. America needs to be reminded what a rich, diverse tapestry it is, and the only way that's going to happen is if you do it. And I tell you, you got a better shot than I had. You've got a real college degree. Thank you so much.
Congratulations and thank you, Dr. Prady. Over 3,800 students from our 13 schools and colleges are eligible to graduate during this term. Many of those students attained a high level of academic achievement that we want to celebrate with you. Students from the Irvin D. Reed Honors College celebrate a wonderful tradition of academic achievement and have earned university and departmental honors designations. Please turn your attention to the video board for a message from the Dean of Honors, John Corvino.
Mr. President, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the schools and colleges at Wayne State University, I have the honor to present these outstanding students who have completed the honors curriculum in their respective departments or the general university honors curriculum as listed in the commencement program. They are wearing a gold collar in recognition of this accomplishment.
Thank you, Dean Corvino. Mr. President, from the School of Information Sciences, the master degree candidates will be presented by Associate Dean Tom Walker. Will the graduates from the School of Information Science please stand?
Mr. President, on behalf of Dean John Cawthorn, and upon the recommendation of the faculty of the School of Information Sciences, I have the honor to present these candidates for the degree as listed in the commencement program.
Thank you, Dean Walker. Would the candidates please be seated? Mr. President, from the School of Medicine, I will present the master degree candidates. Will the graduates from the School of Medicine please stand? Mr. President, upon the recommendation of the faculty of School of Medicine, I have the honor to present these candidates for the degrees in the commencement program. Will the candidates please be seated? From the College of Education, the master's and bachelor degree candidates will be presented by Dean Ingrid Guerra Lopez. Will the graduates from the College of Education please stand?
Mr. President, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the College of Education, I have the honor to present these candidates for the degrees as listed in the commencement program.
Thank you, Dean Guerra Lopez. Will the candidates please be seated? From the College of Fine, Performing, and Communication Arts, the master and bachelor's degree candidates will be presented by Dean Matthew Seeger. Will the graduates from the College of Fine, Performing, and Communication Arts please stand?
Mr. President, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the College of Fine, Performing, and Communication Arts, I have the honor to present these exceptional candidates for the degrees as listed in the commencement program.
Thank you, Dean Seeger. Now, will all the graduates from all the schools please stand? Mr. President,
The authority to confer each of these degrees is vested in the Board of Governors of Wayne State University by the people of the state of Michigan under the Constitution of the state. This authority is delegated to the president by the board. Each of these degrees is granted on the recommendation of the faculty of the university. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Governors and upon the recommendation of the respective faculties, I do hereby confer upon you the degree for which the faculties have recommended you, and I admit you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree. Congratulations.
it's Mother's Day. One more time. Come on. Yeah. Woo! The degree recipients will please be seated. Honored guests, it is now time for the moment our graduates have worked so hard to achieve, the receiving of their diplomas. We ask that all guests remain in their seats during the diploma march. I'll now call all the degree candidates to the stage to participate in the diploma march. Please process by rows, beginning with the first row, following the directions of the staff at the head of each row.
Amanda Davies. Madison Roberts. Tiffany Dinwiddie. Hanan Al-Dahan. Allison Salcido. Heather Kapenka. Emily Paulette Monteroso. Sarah Winkles. Jamie Yoakum. Taryn Allen. Alyssa Rezick. Jessica DeGreek. Kimberly Ann Poma. Joythy Phillip. Jean Ashley Lava. Sierra Holmes. Monica Pemberton. Mackenzie Connell. Jamil Ramsey Garib. Taylor Alpert. Karis Wishire. Jacob Sabota. Jesse Cato. Kaylin Toloff. Alexei Yankulafsky. Casey Kyling. Morgan Devlin. Madeline Fugate. Christian Lee Rice. Julia Bell. Krishna Paul. Library science. Benita Rangira. Emily Pelk. Adam Lazar. Omar Alkawusmi. Bassam Khatib. Carolyn McDonald Gannon. Amani El Ed Libi. Olivia Camp. Ashmati Molin. Brianna Thurman. Jasmine Jeffers. Abigail Vaquera. Felicia Frabus. Dina Mustafi Ajami. Lena Lewis. Samantha Isho. Brooke Manville. Maheen Arshad. Katie Townsend.
Emma Blanche. Harmony Room. Keela Robinson. Erica Frederick. Lakira Johnson. Rolanda Matthews. Lenita Myers. Brasia Sterling. Corey Jones. Hassan Ozier. Sarah Hakala. Rita Shunia. Tara Ibrahim. Balkis Youssef. Basma Al Sultan. Zara Jalul. Kayleen Roberts. Beetta Sass. Rachel McNino. Sophia Kudre. Dina Mahana. Bria Bryant. Daisha Moore Grant. Brianna Washington. Lauren Chapman. Sydney Hill. Lindsay Scott. Mona Hamawe. Farah Bazi. Madeline Button. Shelby Grote. Douglas Williams. Romuald Lapointe. Isabella Kirk. Sydney Van Neeren. Mark Malik.
Cypher Shuib. Sean Cayley. Stephanie Riley Jankowski. Rebecca Ricky Willens. Amanda Batts. Kathleen Lawson. Farhia Hirsi. Delisha Artiaga. Jerlene Lafour. Raven Walker. Joseph Lozelle IV. Joseph Altizier. Erica Strez. Francis Heaney. David Rossi. Laura Samuelson. Meredith Bond. Frederick LeBeau III. Rachel Joseph. Erica Zwolinski. Celica Whitley. Aileen Hott. Lauren McKenzie. Emma Hausbeck. Fiona Brewer. Alicia Alice. Megan Rye. Jeffrey McClung. Alexis Bermelio. Sumaya Beydoun. Wahid Jamjun. Rukaya Muthana. Vanessa Pepper. Hannah Cohen. Rosamar Rodriguez Pagan. Jennifer Christ. Sarah Petoskey. Elizabeth Ann Schaller. Hope Peck. Bethany Stokes. Iman Al-Barakat. And Tarika Crowley. Marcella Bauger. Jackie Smith. Erica Davenport. Marcus Scott. Elizabeth McCullough. Samantha Scola. Lydia Michelle Lawrence. Rachel Elizabeth Mall. Kira Murphy. Cheyenne Brooks. Carly Klott. Lisa Fieber. Saba Elias. Jessica McDougall. Julian Palm. Michael Croft. James Tillman. Melanie Baca. Natalie Janjanyan. Laura Whalen. Kashifa Naim. Dominique Hermes. Danielle Walker. Sharon Mack. Mariam Al-Rashi. Haneen Saleh. Felicia Rush. Ilanka Caldwell. Sarah Colada. Bushra Rahman. Sharon Chris. Natalie Petrus. Gabrielle Babcock. Erin Buckeridge. Chloe Wendell. Christy Miller. Judith Flood Edwards. Ariana Klinksale. Eric Miner. Abigail Smiles. Samantha Stewart. Haley Sawicki. Ellington Summerai. Dirk Thornhill. Lauren Burgess. Brianna Ramsey. Taylor Hudgens. Aya Kane. Rachel Olaunik. Daniela Gervais. Atra Rasho. Yasmin Afis. Aaliyah McDonald. Oh, yeah, I want to take. Calais Flowers. We'll go after this one. Tiana McQuaid.
Darian Owens. Brandon Tuck Hayden. Braylon Neely. Joseph Farah. Bryn Nevins. Talia Ribotero. Erica Ross. Heather Garcia. Justin Sivalek. Elena Sturza. Thomas Pierce. Rami Badwai. Emma Allen. Catherine Allison. Kareem Hashwi. Zara Darwich. Natalia Bogovich. Victoria Beecham. Kelly Ann Ray. Jacqueline Armstrong. Jerry Crump Jr. Munthaha Mumin. Reese Wilson. Victoria Sermiak. Heather Karcher. Tara Melnick. Amna Lodi. Rania Saror. Nadine Saror. Sarah Angel. Jenna Petita. Alexandria Rugenstein. Chandra Dix. Brittany Moorhead. Chantel Creekor. Kayla Anisazian. Sarah Brisky. Zachary Perry. Emily Myers. Courtney Julian. Nathan Baker. Alyssa Bozick. Raquel Dunneback. Brianna Orlandi. Brianna Sawicki. Alexis Curry Williams. Joshua Rolder. Abigail Shrum. Aya Alsan Wafi. Yasin Ahmed. Tarek Alhami. Brandon Valentine. Lucinda Sutliff. Claudia Martin. Mitchell Karcheski. Aaron Williamson. Megan Giambruno. Nicholas Davis. Spencer Weber. Jonathan Wakefield. Anna Rustifer. Rainey Seneca. Cassidy Moonen. Candice Kawaka. Hiba Habib. Shanjana Chowdhury. Wasim Halimi. Nasim Al-Najjar. Adam Foster. Raphael Espinal. Kristen Crane. L'Oreal McLaughlin. Jessica Nelson. Bassam Romalino. Colin Metzler. Lucas Cottrell. Madison Ruffing. Madeline Schultz. Michelle DeGrez. Annabelle Aquino. Sydney Bulk. Daniel Fahmy. Yasmin Uresiv Galderas. Zara Bazi. Lena Esau. Christina Zwolinski. Austin Jabelli. Mia Hageman. Kyle Rocco. Alexis Kimberly.
William Patsalis. Vincent Sloan. Come over here so you can tell me your names. Hold them on. Chase Stickle. Joseph Shabbat. Abigail Bishop. Kayla Stein. Brooke Hansen. Jessica Parker. Catherine Kraus. Ryan Regal. Tanner Robertson. Reed Shaner. Noah Barstad. Rhiannon Morbido. Rakaya Alessa. Abida Ahmed. Kennedy Vigliotti. Sharice Strickland. Golda Amiza. Ariana CA. Teodora Radu. Laura Kazaku.
Announce the college. And now the College of Fine Performing and Communication Arts.
Micah Guzman.
Talia Syed.
Brianna Rock.
Sion Sims.
Lewis Jones III.
Michael Collins.
Justin Karoba.
Allison Marie McCall.
Fatuma Saad.
Angela M. Patton.
Tierra Merriweather.
Crystal Frazier.
Tony Cunningham.
Kara Marie Young.
Tia Nichols.
Yan Zhang.
Dominic Waddles.
Shelley Lashke. Taylor Kraft.
Oh, I was. Yeah, that's her. So this one.
Jessica Mosner.
Miranda Cole.
Frida Monroe.
Danielle Poppy.
Emma Marie Orr.
Kara Forfinski.
Julia Luderman.
Ann Stein. Morgan Listenby.
Kylie Ann Stone. Aziza Zabari.
Alondro Guadalupe Nasquez.
Grace Zimmerman.
Amanda Bastian.
Gabrielle Guthrie.
Amber Sparks.
Kaylee Adair.
Kayla Gonzalez.
Eric Blant.
Emily Hooper.
Joseph Matar.
They want to do one. Olivia Kimes.
Evelyn Gaines. Alexis Rose. Lucia Romery. Alex Lee. Brianna Clark.
Jennifer Nicole Kraft.
Olivia Bonich.
Riley Kerrigan.
Jasmine Bullock. Xavier Williamson. Katie Krewall. Melissa Figueroa. Allie Ennis Clark. Sean Standish.
CJ Caldwell. Jacob Wilson. Ethan May. Jillian Santina Marshall. Jenna Geluso. Keegan Everett. Luca Kozlowski.
Samantha Penavy. Lisa McCabe. Jaden Powell. Kendall Ciantra. Roja Mullins. Madison Muzinski. Haley Benedict. Molly Brookman. Vanna Wilkie. Madeline Ramos. Isabel Siana Alo. Jay Devine.
Reginald Hawkins. Alina Marcosi. Eilena Bell. Andre Barr Jr. Dexter Dwyer. Luca Holton. Crystal Wilson. Taylor Kelly. Olivia Dobry. Melissa Gauman. Sarah Brazo. Maisa Kwabolwi. Retha Bach.
Morgan Carlisle. Livia Stein. Alexa Reinbold. Sherry Holly. Deborah Trotter. Aya Ferguson. Dali Sacco. Lucy Bemis. Rosalind Rice. Bailey Crevia. Catherine Fisher. Elizabeth Ryan. Julia Dinar. Leah Pavoni. Morgan Gradwick. Tia Whitman Gillespie. Carter Barnes. Michael D. Sabia. Samuel Cron. Alana Joy Tuppens. Amanda Doran.
Shikoria Dobine. Bram Lesko. Marissa O'Day. Benjamin Chapman. Andrew Mantano. Julia Fantich. Catherine Mower. Elizabeth Kolumbieski. Christina Krishak. Adia Olian Jahi. Paulina Puloska. Courtney Stein. Caitlin Vinitsky. Lauren Tokash. Leighton Howe. Peter Said. Doha Youssef. Timothy Roth. Robert Wesson.
Alex Horvath. Walter Charles III. Laura Namowich. Natalie Butler.
Malika Kanigati.
Ryan Ruter. Ryan Davis. Gwen Davis. Abdul Namu. Brittany Smith. Markel Small. Brittany Ballard. Jacqueline Boswell. Leela Neal. Kyra O. Gwynn. Nolan Edgel. Daisy Ramirez. Melissa Kita. Catherine Schumann.
Kayla Hobart. Katrina O'Higgins. Peyton Krulewski. Gregory Alter Jr. James McLennan. Zachary Desjarlais. Sean Burden. Michaela Mazzarelli. Crystal Eaton. Chris Simpson. Hannah Hall. Blake Pruno. Carmen Mirakion. Jasmine Stalins. Amerigamela Kalaf. Lindsay Kriego. Ruth Schmidt. Manira Kakush. Taylor Schaefer. Jewel Williams. Christopher Asia. Gavin Summers. Robin Banks. Lou Bernadine Pastrana. Sharvai Thomas. Adrian Jordan.
Deslin Harris. Evan Smith. Megan Williams. Haley Higgins. Sebastian Riviera Mendoza. Amari Jones. Keenan Knox. Cody Guy. Ashley Simich. Nina Walker. Genevieve Johnson. Jeanette Tompos. Zara Slayman. Crystal Jeffrey. Orville Simpson IV. Gadira Amer Kalof. Shahar Habhab. Chloe Brown. Jessica Vandermoss. La Jacqueline Bell. Ariana Anderson. Chloe White. Nicholas Beckley. Quinn Banks. Jessica Taylor. Minna Arshad. Darcel Brown Jr. Michael Foster. And last, Juan Walker.
Families, friends, honored guests, may I present to you the Wayne State University graduating class of 2022. Please be seated. It is now my pleasure to present this afternoon's student speaker, Aaliyah McDonald. Aaliyah is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Education in the College of Education. Please turn your attention to the video screens.
The main reason why I came to Wayne State was specifically the size of the school. Being from Jamaica, a close-knit relationship is very important and is very valued. So I wanted to study somewhere where that was also important. And I know at Wayne State, given the size, diversity and inclusivity is really important. So that kind of drew me to the school, as well as the kinesiology program. I know it has a really good program, and I wanted to get the best academic experience so that I could set myself up for success post Wayne State. My end goal is to become a sports physical therapist, and being in the program of kinesiology, it's allowed me to get internships, shadowing opportunities, being closer to persons I will hopefully be working with in the future, and that has given me a better idea of what to expect. Wayne State has allowed me to be a college athlete. I was recruited for track and field to run hurdles, 100 and 200. It's been a dream of mine to be a college athlete, so the fact that I've been able to do this for 4 years is really a privilege. I would say Wayne State, it feels like home. My name is Aaliyah McDonald, and I am Warrior Strong. Good afternoon, friends, family, faculty, staff, and my fellow graduates. It is with great pride that I stand here on behalf of the class of 2022 giving this commencement speech. I would first like to thank you all for joining us on this joyous day and express my warmest congratulations to my fellow graduates. Graduation is a time for reflecting, looking back on lessons learned, adventures shared, saying goodbye to old friends and good times, but also a time for looking forward, setting new goals, and starting afresh. We came to Wayne State for an education, but we left with so much more: unique experiences and lifelong relationships. For many of us, Wayne State was our home away from home. And during our time here, we met so many new people, made lasting friendships, had unforgettable experiences, tried way too many restaurants, and made memories we will never forget. From 8 a.m. classes to countless assignments, papers, and exams, from festival to sports games, we all cherished every moment here at Wayne State. Being a Wayne State Warrior means that beyond all obstacles, we still manage to be successful and persevere to the end. It means we adopt a no-quit mentality to help us overcome life's challenges and come out more knowledgeable and resilient. Throughout history, warriors have played the role of fighters, protectors, and defenders. And during our time here at Wayne State, we all had to play one of those roles to complete the journey in order to be here today. Walt Disney once said, "All dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them." We have dreams of becoming healthcare professionals, teachers, artists, fashion designers, journalists, sports managers, data analysts, stage managers, performers, musicians, and so much more. And we have spent the last 4 years ensuring our dreams become a reality. From admission letters to degrees and everything in between, it has been an amazing journey. And although graduation seemed so far away, the time has finally come. We are here because of our hard work, perseverance, and discipline, attributes we hope to continue after leaving this noble institution. Although we are at the final step in our college experience, we cannot forget all the trials, long hours of studying, and constant stress that brought us to this point. Today marks the end of yet another extraordinary chapter in our lives. And with this chapter closed, we are ready to turn our hard work and dreams into reality. The road ahead won't be easy. There will be obstacles and roadblocks, and times when we feel like we can't continue. Nothing worthwhile is easy, so we keep pushing, knowing that we are equipped with the necessary tools to tackle whatever poses a threat. Today is also a day of thanks, where we thank those who helped us get here, nurtured us, taught us, cheered us on, and dried our tears. This day is significant because it demonstrates the contributions of so many people that have allowed this graduating class to achieve all that it has. It is because of the efforts of everyone in this room that we are able to gather here today. Thank you all for supporting us on our journeys, whether big or small. We are indebted to you. Graduates, this is an outstanding achievement, and it is well deserved. It has been an honor being among such accomplished individuals who are capable of great things. So finally, I leave you with some encouraging words from Winston Churchill. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Thank you for your time. May God bless you, and congratulations.
I would like to thank Aaliyah for her comments and wish her the very best in her endeavors. Now I'd like to introduce you to Anessa Morley, Executive Director of the Wayne Alumni Association and Senior Director of Alumni Relations, to present a very special welcome to our university's newest alumni. Please direct your attention again to the video screen.
Congratulations, graduates. You arrived at Wayne State as students, but you leave as powerful examples of success. You have demonstrated that with grit, opportunity, and ambition, anything is possible. As you move your tassel from student to a graduate, you also move into the Wayne State alumni community of more than 290,000 warriors. There are Wayne State alumni in every corner of Detroit, in every part of Michigan, across the country, and around the world. No matter where your journey takes you, you will find a Wayne State connection. We hope you keep the connections that you have made during your time at Wayne State and continue to make new connections with fellow alumni. We also hope you will stay connected with your alumni association. We offer many programs and opportunities, from mentoring to lifelong learning and ways to give back. And we want to hear where life takes you. Please share your accomplishments and your updates with us as you achieve milestones throughout your journey. Keep in touch with us via our website at alumni.wayne.edu. On behalf of the Alumni Association, congratulations again on your accomplishments. We can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you, Ms. Morley. Will all the master's degree candidates please stand, and will everyone join me in congratulating these students for their efforts, their accomplishments. So for their efforts and accomplishments in successfully completing their graduate degrees, one more round of applause. Please be seated. Now, will all the bachelor's graduates please stand? In a tradition at great universities from across the world, the turning of the tassel signifies the completion of your undergraduate degree. As I count to 3, will all candidates for bachelor's degrees please turn your tassels from right to left? 1, 2, 3, turn. Congratulations, graduates, class of 2022.
Graduates and honored guests, congratulations to all of you for this fantastic day. Please remain standing at your seats as the platform party and the faculty recess from the ceremony. Marshals, please escort the platform party and the faculty from the stage. This concludes this afternoon's commencement ceremony. Thank you for celebrating with us. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Congratulations to all of you and have a great day.